There's no better welcoming committee than the King's Court. Felix Hernandez on the mound tonight as he makes another try to become the all-time winningest pitcher in Mariners history. As we welcome you back here, and the Mariners are welcome to be back. Safeco Field for Mariner baseball. Rays in town. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and here we go. Root Sports crew on hand. First pitch by Felix. In there for called strike one on Logan Forsythe, the second baseman. Felix with a 2-2 record, a 2.21 ERA. Here's Forsythe.
Forsythe, one of the few Rays that's been off to a good start this year. Comes into the game hitting .311 with 4 home runs and 12 RBI. Have a number of guys in the lineup that have struggled.
Already after 2 pitches into the standing and shouting for the K. Foul ball. 66 degrees under blue skies. Simply gorgeous here in Seattle. Wind out of the west at 3.
Felix on the year, his average fastball 90 miles an hour. Going to use his curveball and changeup quite a bit today. He also throws a slider at 83.
Felix in his last outing, a no decision against Oakland. A couple of fielding mistakes cost him. We rarely see that. We talk about, and rightfully so. He's such a good athlete and good defender.
You look at his last outing, 4+. He gave up 9 hits, 8 runs, but only 4 of them earned because of the defensive lapses.
Tried again at 0-2. 0-2 strikes. Home plate umpire for tonight's game trip, Gibson. Jerry Lane is at first. Hunter Wendelstedt at second, and Gabe Morales at third. Jerry Lane, the crew chief. 1-2 pitch. Little looper. Goody's got it covered. 1 out.
Take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Rays. Brad Miller off to a slow start, hitting just .217. Evan Longoria hitting .222 versus Felix in his career. Felix has been able to strike him out 11 times. Logan Morrison, tough start to the season, just 2 for 42. So he's been trying to climb out of that hole. Kevin Kiermaier, he has the speed in the lineup. He will bat 8. He has 5 stolen bases for the Rays. For Felix on the year, his 7th start, a 2.21 ERA. 36 2/3. He has 29 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just .204 against him.
Brad Miller seeing Felix Hernandez from a different angle. I said, "You're a real major leaguer now, pal. You've been traded." He said, "Yeah, I didn't feel it so much. Spent most of the first few weeks on the East Coast, but then when I got to Anaheim," says, "Oh yeah, this is familiar. I've been here." He says his grandma Charlotte sends her best to us both.
Appreciate that. See, Brad had a good series against the Angels, picked up 6 hits, including a home run. He's starting to get things going in the right direction.
Felix behind 2-0 to his former shortstop. 3-0. Kevin Cash in his 2nd year as manager of the Rays, the 5th manager in franchise history. Former catcher. Toronto, Tampa Bay, Boston, Yankees, Houston, and Boston. There's a strike 3 and 1.
All 4 pitches, fastballs. Felix trying to pitch him away.
On deck is Evan Longoria. Brad Miller in his first appearance Safeco Field as a Ray draws a walk.
Let's take a look at the American Family Insurance defensive setup for the Mariners. They own a smart team. He had a good road trip in the outfield, ran down a lot. He was able to take a bunch of hits away. Franklin Gutierrez will get the start in right field. Dae-Ho Lee getting the start at first base, and Chris Iannetta will do the catching.
I love Felix's numbers against the Rays here at Safeco Field in 10 starts, 6-0 with a 1.58 ERA, and of course the perfecto August 15th of 2012. Here's Longoria. Longoria says he feels a hot streak coming on. Catching up with him today. I said, "You lost weight." He says, "Everywhere I've been, everybody says I've lost weight." I said, "Well, your face is thinner." He says, "I'm trying to put on weight. I'm 215. I played at 205 last year, so physically, he says it feels great." 6 for 27 against Felix. This will be interesting given some of the home plate umpiring we saw down in Houston. See what kind of game Trip Gibson has tonight. It's uneven to say the least.
Mariners have the shift on Longoria hitting, expecting him to pull the ball.
Oh, 2 strikes. Rays got off to 3-7 start since then, 11-7, including winning their last 4 ball games.
Offensively, it's been a struggle. Last in hitting in the American League for the Rays, 13th in runs scored. They are 4th in home runs. They can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but they strike out a lot. They don't walk much.
A lot of solo home runs. 1-2 pitch here to Longoria. Inside.
Take a look at the Rays and their profile, batting average wise 28th in Major League Baseball, and you can see the strikeout numbers.
They hang all their hats on pitching. 3rd in ERA. Here's a 2-2. Miller back. A lot of catching up during batting practice. Brad Miller, Logan Morrison, former Mariners, now with the Rays. Nathan Carnes, now with the Mariners, is with Tampa Bay, part of that trade. Swing and a miss. There's your first K of the evening for Felix Hernandez. 2 down here in the first.
And we'll take a look at the strikeout, down out of the strike zone. That's the great changeup from Felix.
First of 3 here with the Rays. Mariners will have Thursday off. Angels come to town for 3. Then we're back out on the road for a quick road trip. Just 6 games, 3 in Baltimore. Orioles in first place in the East. Cincinnati with a 2nd stop, and Cincinnati last in the NL Central. Here's Corey Dickerson.
Corey has struggled with his batting average, hitting just 184, but he has some pop. 6 home runs on the year for him.
Here's the 1-0. Stay foul. Felix going for win number 146, making the winningest pitcher in the history of the Mariners. Felix here at home, 2 games, 1-0 record, has not given up an earned run. 1-1. Fouled in Ianetta's glove. And Kings Court will rise to its feet again.
This is on a curveball down out of the strike zone. The league has not been able to handle his curveball this year. The league hitting just 129 against his curveball, 170 against his changeup. Next pitch will be 20 for Felix. 19 pitches, 11 strikes.
There's a 1-2 pitch here to Dickerson. Just stays alive.
You look at Felix when he gets ahead in the count. This is what makes him so difficult. You can see his changeup, one of the best pitches in baseball. He'll throw 40% of the time, but he'll still throw his fastball. Typically try to hit the inside corner. Surprise you with it, thinking you're looking for the changeup, but the curveball. That's been a pitch. He started throwing it more again last year, And he told me during spring training he was going to continue to throw it this year, and he has. Throwing his curveball about 24% of the time.
Felix ready. Looking for strikeout number 2. Miller runs, pitch inside. Hernandez throw, save, stolen base. Brad Miller, his second.
Tate thought he had him. A strong throw by Hernandez. He may have been able to get him. It looked like his fingers were just short of the base. He tags him on the forearm.
Got service, waiting to hear from Chris Prieto.
Not going to check it.
2-2 the count, 2 outs, runner at second.
Rays hitting .220 overall, runners in scoring position.
Here comes a 2-2 pitch to Dickerson. Fouled off. Every day you see your cleanup guy hitting a .184, but as we previously detailed us how much of a struggle Tampa Bay has been in offensively. 2-2. Fly ball carrying on Martin. Like it was going to be routine, and he had to make some space out there. Felix off to a good start with a strikeout. Stranding a runner. Mariners coming to bat when we return. Mariners feeling good being back home here in Seattle on a gorgeous Monday. We've got a great week of weather ahead, so come on out to the ballpark to see your first place Mariners starting today. Half game ahead of Texas. Let's take a look at the Mariner batting order that will face Matt Moore.
And we'll go right to the third hitter, Robinson Cano, American League Player of the Week. Cano now hitting .305, 12 home runs, 33 RBIs. Nelson Cruz did not play yesterday, back in the lineup today as the DH. Kyle Seager's been on a 9-game hitting streak, hitting .432, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs over the 9 games. See Chris Iannetta, what he has done against left-handed pitching this year, a .400 hitter with a home run. And Dae-Ho Lee hitting .256 with 4 home runs. He will hit 8th in the lineup. For Matt Moore, 6 starts on the year, a .495 ERA, 37 strikeouts, and 36 in the third. Opponents hitting .241. He has given up 6 home runs.
Strike one to Nori. Nori's 2 for 2 against Matt Moore. Moore working at a good pace already. Quick work.
He has a good fastball. His average fastball at 93. At times you'll see him touch 95 miles an hour. You saw the curveball. He'll throw that about 21% of the time and also mix in a changeup.
Down the line, foul ball. Talking to Kevin Cash, the manager of the Rays, about Matt Moore. Says he got out of the gates well. He had a couple of no decisions, then beat the White Sox and had a huge hiccup against the Dodgers in his last start. Mike talked about those numbers: 4 to 38 hits, 7 runs all earned, 3 walks and 2 Ks. Could be interesting. Base hit. Good start for the Mariners.
Take a look at the defense for the Rays, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Kevin Kiermaier in center field, one of the better center fielders in the American League. Just saw Brad Miller at shortstop. Logan Morrison, the former Mariner, will be at first base, and Hank Conger will do the catching. Expect the Mariners to run this year. 11 stolen bases off of Conger. He's only thrown out 2. Really had his struggles last year. Gave him 42 steals. Only threw out 1 base stealer last year. So I think the Mariners will be aggressive on the bases with Conger behind the plate.
Here's Marte coming off an 8 for 30 road trip, but cooled off his last 9 at bats, going 0 for 9. Looking ahead in this series with 2 more games to play after tonight. Cash said that the team MVP hands down is Erasmo Ramirez, coming out of the bullpen. He's got 6 wins against 1 loss. Drive to left. That's extra bases. Nori to second. And here comes Marte for a double in there safely. Second and third. Good start for the Mariners. Line drive double. That's a 6th double for Marte.
As you look at Matt Moore tonight, talk about the good fastball from him. And he likes it. He'll throw it 64% of the time. This is a high fastball at 92 miles an hour. Marte, the switch hitter, more aggressive from the right side. He has more power hitting right-handed. It's the base of the wall with double. So good situation for the Mariners. Second and third, nobody out.
That's a way to break in 0 for 9. Standing in now, the American League Player of the Year, Robinson Cano. 16 for his last 31, 8 runs, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 9 runs batted in.
A great situation for him to add to his RBIs. 33 RBIs on the year.
They lead the major leagues.
Rays will play their defense back, so ground ball will score a run.
Robbie 5 for 20 with a homer against Matt Moore. Kevin Cash's ball club has got itself over 500 after a really tough start. 2.5 behind first place Baltimore in the American League East. 0-1 to Robbie. 1-1. Infield hit and a double to left. Mariners knocking on the door early. Moore 6'3", 210, turns 27 in June 18th. Edgar Martinez, boys, have been on a tear, swinging it back. 2-1 to Robbie. What did Edgar have to say about Mr. Cano?
Well, the thing I asked him today about Cano is, what is he doing differently other than just being healthy? We all know that he's healthy and feels a lot better. That certainly helps, and that's part of it. But Edgar made a couple of really good points. He said that, one, because he's healthy, he's able to continue to work out on a regular basis. Last year, that was difficult for him because he was doing everything he could just to be in the lineup. Good breaking ball.
2-2.
The other thing is he used to have the leg kick. He no longer has the big leg kick. He just has shortened up his stride, gliding forward. And the last and most important thing, and it's something that I've talked about a lot this year, including in spring training, watching him turn on balls on the inside corner. Even one of the home runs he hit in Houston, that pitch was in off the plate, and he was able to keep it fair. He talked about Robbie. He said, well, all that power is coming because he's staying on his backside longer. He used to drift forward. So that pitch on the inside corner, he would kind of soft serve it into left center field and pick up his hits. But now he's driving it out of the ballpark because he's staying back longer.
2-2. Rory once again showing what a good athlete he is. Avoiding being hit here. Aoki is moving every body part he can control. Look out. Must be a good dancer.
Quick feet. But I think the elimination of the high leg kick for Cano and staying back longer, really getting a lot of power from his legs.
I was talking to some guys today. They were marvelous. Just pitch him down, up, in, out. He's got it all covered.
That's the one that for me is the most impressive. We talked about it in Houston. He did it a couple of times. But at the fastball on top of the strike zone, he's able to line it back up the middle.
Good pitch by Moore to strike him out. One down.
Want to give in to him. Take a look at the curveball and when he'll use it. Ahead in the count, he'll throw it 30% of the time. Even in the count, 21% when he's behind. Again, he'll throw his fastball a lot. So Mariners will be aware of that. They have the numbers. And his curveball this year, out of all of his pitches, has been his best pitch.
Here's Nelson Cruz standing in. Right forearm still bothering him a little bit. He's about 80-85%, he said. Right now he's got a stiff neck. Played with his daughter. She went out to school. He goes upstairs, watched some TV, and all of a sudden his neck sort of went on the left side. He said this was after he was giving Taijuan Walker the business for having a stiff neck. Now he's got it. But here he is, ready to go after having yesterday off. I feel a Cruz tear coming up. He's 0-2 here.
A little late on that high fastball. Take a look at the swing. 93 miles an hour above the belt. And he was just late.
He's 0 for 2 against Matt Moore. 0-2 pitch. And he went after it. So Moore, after giving up back-to-back base hits, infield hitting a double, has struck out the 3-4 men for the Mariners.
And he went right back to the high fastball again, 93 miles an hour. Also Cruz swinging under both the fastballs. Take a look at his fastball and how he used it. Ahead in the count 52% of the time, even the count 66%. And when he's behind, good chance you're going to get the fastball at 76%. You can see the velocity on average at 93. He's already hit 95 miles an hour tonight.
Not bad for a guy coming back from Tommy John surgery back in April of 2014. Here's Goody. And Franklin looks to strike in the outside corner. Franklin hitting at .216, no homers and 3 runs batted in with a couple of doubles.
Mariners this year against left-handed starters are 5-5. They could certainly improve that record if Franklin Gutierrez starts to get it going, because last year he really helped this club against lefties. Off to a slow start.
Was blocked by Hank Conger, 1-1. Lefty started tonight, Matt Moore, and you'll get Drew Smiley tomorrow night. It's Wade Miley, and then Wednesday, 2 of the bright young pitchers in the game, Taijuan Walker and Chris Archer. 1-1 to Gutierrez. He's behind 1-2. Matt Moore had a breakout season in 2013, 17-4 with a 3.29 ERA. And Tommy John surgery in April of 14. Here's the 1-2. On the button, but right to Longoria. So the Mariners threaten and don't score as they get 2 strikeouts, Cano and Cruz, and a line out by Goody. Second inning coming up. Chef Jeremy is going to be giving out the honorary piece of meat right here. Big turkey leg. And it looks like he's more than capable of handling, and he is. Always a festive night when the Kings Court is in session here in Seattle. Good to be back home. Jeremy, good job. 5, 6, and 7 coming up here for the Rays. Steven Souza Jr. out of Shoreline and Everett, Washington. Felix in the first inning. Walking a strikeout.
He had to throw a lot of pitches in the first inning. 23 pitches in the first. So hopefully as the game moves on, he'll become more efficient.
Time call. Give it to Cash. The rest of the Rays party happy for Souza. Souza Jr., who's back home here. Brought the Mariner fan. Breaking ball for strike 1 and 2. Cash said he's carried ball club a few times. Some great defensive play.
He's also been swinging the bat. 277 with 7 home runs, 14 RBIs.
Got a good throwing arm in right field, so you got to be aware of that. 1 and 2, Felix ahead. Pitch inside. Felix pitching more inside this year. It seems, in my mind's eye, seems that he is.
No, I think that he is, and I think that's what opens up things for his changeup and his curveball. Just noticing tonight on his fastball command as you take a look at Mel Stottlemyre.
Swing and a miss. Got him. Strikeout number 2.
And that's because of the fastball before. He throws him the changeup, ends up down out of the strike zone, but he sped him up with the fastball inside. And we'll take a look at it again. His changeup is tough. Right over the top of it. I think so far tonight, watching him, you see the circle change grip on the changeup. I think tonight, though, he's pitching on the inside corner to the righties and would be the outside corner, so it's the same side of the plate to the lefties, and he's missing off the plate right now. If he dials that in, I think that he'll have some quick innings.
Broke out the welcome back Cotter theme for Logan Morrison, as they've done for Brad Miller. Back in the first, Brad worked the walk at a 3-1 pitch. Here's Loma. Off the brutal start, 8 for 70, hitting 114.
Started the season on 2 for 42. That's a big hole to try to dig yourself out of.
Right to Cano, easy 2-hopper.
Mariners had the shift on, he hit right into it. Look at the numbers for Felix against Tampa. 15 starts, 3 complete games, a 7-2 record, ERA of 1.90. 5 of the last 6 starts, just 1 earned run or less.
Perfect game back on August 15 of 2012. Hard to believe they're coming up on 4 years on that. Quick 2 outs here in the second. Brendan Geyer, the left fielder. Geyer make that 326. 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Last year, Tampa Bay gave the Mariners a hard time here at home, winning 3 out of 4. Then the Mariners returned the favor, winning all 3 games in St. Petersburg.
Good curveball from Felix. Has a good feel for his changeup and curveball early in the ball game. He's only thrown 1 slider so far.
One, 2.
And to your point, Dave, back inside with the fastball again. That one was on the inside corner.
Games played here between the Mariners and the Rays. 4 games, 3 of them were 1-run games. The other was a 2-run game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on. Line foul. All right, night's made for that youngster. Felix ready, 2-2. Other action involving AL West team, Chicago White Sox at Texas, 3-3, top 9. Pitched by Felix. High fly ball, right center field for Gutierrez. 1-2-3 inning, 5 in a row, retired by Felix. When we come back, Kyle Seager swinging a hot bat will lead things off for the Mariners. Seattle Mariners baseball here on Root Sports, being brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. By BNSF Railway, sponsor the BNSF Blast. And by Country Financial. Visit ownyourfuture.com. Well, we were told it was going to be gorgeous when we come back, and that weather forecast nailed it. Dad and son, selfie, send it to mom and grandma. Kyle Seager will lead things off here for the Mariners. That's Matt Moore. There's a line drive, base hit, right field.
10-game hitting streak for Seager. That didn't take long. Came into the game with a 9-game hitting streak. Now it's at 10 with that base hit. Brad talking about it on the pregame show, and I think that probably a pretty good argument. If Robinson Cano had not won American League Player of the Week, Kyle Seager may have been next in line with the week that he had.
Absolutely. 16 for his last 37 coming in. Hit safely in 9 consecutive games, now 10. Strong case for him. Third hit tonight for the Mariners as we play here in the second inning. Here's Chris Iannetta, the catcher, hitting at 224. Chris 0 for 2 against Matt Moore.
Moore throwing a lot of strikes here early. 20 pitches, 16 strikes. Showed the numbers of Iannetta against left-handed pitching this year. A 400 hitter with a home run.
Well, low to Chris Tuno.
Mariners had a great opportunity in the first. Second and third, nobody out. Rays playing their infield back, and they were not able to score a run. A couple of strikeouts.
Got the big boys. Cano struck out, 2-2 pitch. Cruz on an 0-2 pitch.
Gutierrez squared one up, but the line drive was right at third baseman Longoria.
Center field driving Kiermaier back on the track. He's there to make the catch. Kiermaier, acrobatic center fielder and a good one. Won the Gold Glove last year. Mariners aren't the only thing that's red hot. So is Sriracha Night coming up Wednesday, May 25th. This ticket includes a main level seat, a Sriracha beanie, and menu item. Tickets for this special event are available only at mariners.com/Sriracha. Things are always hot in the pen with plenty of Sriracha. We might as well have a whole night for it. Why not? Day Holy hitting a .256, 4 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Coming off a great game in Oakland where he hit 2 home runs. On the right center and a blast to left.
Had a good conversation with Edgar Martinez today about Day Holy, and I want to talk to him about the leg kick. We've shown the leg kick a lot. I was thinking about it driving into the ballpark today, and Edgar Martinez, greatest right-handed hitter that I've ever been around. He also had the big leg kick, so I figured why not talk to Edgar about it. And he said that as long as you keep your weight back and you don't drift forward, you're in good shape. And he said with Day Holy, the thing you have to remember is this guy's been a professional for a long time. He has a lot of at-bats. Maybe not here in the big leagues, but he's been around, and he said the thing he likes is he makes adjustments, and we were able to see that on the road trip.
Well, he's a smart baseball player, no doubt about it. 1-1.
And I asked Edgar, I said the thing that was impressive for me was he ended up getting the start yesterday. As you take a look at the leg kick from him, and Edgar said that he'll just shorten that up a little bit with 2 strikes, but he's up there to do some damage. And we've seen that so far this year with the 4 home runs and some limited plate appearances. But facing the right-hander yesterday because Cruz was out of the lineup.
And you love this script writing on that shield.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Great. But he made an adjustment on a breaking ball from the righty that was down and away, down out of the strike zone. He hit it hard for a base hit. The next time up, it was a fastball down and away, and he hit that hard. Unfortunately, it was right at the second baseman.
And again, these are guys he's seen for the first time.
Right. But he can use the entire field.
He's off, and that pitch draws a walk. First walk issued by Moore. Runners at first and second. So back-to-back innings, the Mariners have had 2 men aboard.
When you're talking about the leg kick, first thing Edgar talking about staying back, that's the reason why Kyle Seager needed to make a change. And same with Robinson Cano. Both of them had the leg kick last year, and this year it wasn't working. Cano ended up getting rid of it towards the end of last year, but for Seager, he started with it and then had to change to the toe tap again because they weren't able to keep their weight back.
Seager says, I'll try something for a year and a half. Doesn't work, I go back to the other thing.
Why not?
There's Martin. 204, 5 homers, 12 runs batted in. Popped up out of play.
Martin, we talked about it a lot. He ended up with a couple of base hits on bunting the ball in Oakland. And every game in Houston, he tried to bunt at one point, either the first or second at bat, and he ended up fouling pitches off. I was talking to him about that today at the batting cages, and I asked him, I said, do you ever try to take it with you at first? Because he's always bunting it down the third baseline.
There goes that bat, and then a new one, 0-2.
And he gave me a really good answer. He said, he'll try it from time to time if it's a left-hander on the mound that's falling off towards the line at third. Makes perfect sense, right? Then you can take it with you the other side. It lessens the chance of him getting it. He said with a righty, if he doesn't make a perfect bunt trying to take it towards second base, he's out. If he doesn't make a perfect bunt going down the third base line, it's just a foul and a strike, and he's still okay.
Well, he's due for a stretch to keep a bunch of those fair before long. Right off the end of the bat, right off the cup.
And talking to Julio Cruz, he thought on those bunts in Houston he was watching. I ran into Cruz today. Julio only had a chance to talk to him. He said that he was going too fast and waiting too late to try to drop down the bunt.
Conger can't find it. Both runners move up.
That'll be a wild pitch. And another good situation for the Mariners.
So they had first and second in the first inning, now second and third. There's another look at it. Martin's got a 1-2 count.
And
one out, drawn in infield. We're ready. Here's the 1-2. One thing from Matt Moore, boy, he is smooth. You can see how the ball can jump off.
He's always been that way, and I looked it up. It was just a few years ago before he ended up hurting his arm. His average fastball was 96 miles an hour. He could touch 100.
No doubt. 2-2 pitch, 1 out, 2 on. Struck him out. 3rd K. Matt Moore, 2 away.
Good fastball. He wants it down, but ends up being at the top of the strike zone. He gets away with it.
White Sox have taken a 4-3 lead at Texas, top of the 9th. Oakland getting hammered in Boston, 14-6. Houston 7, Cleveland 1, bottom 8 in Houston. Top of the order, Orioles, infield hit to lead things off for the Mariners. Here Moore exhaling, delivering that pitch, 0-1. Behind 0-2. So a 2-inning pattern. First 2 men have reached. Just like in the first inning. Only this time the Mariners hopefully be a little bit luckier and get a base hit here. Sign that at time. Bench coach Tim Bogart. Right now advantage Matt Moore, 0-2. Geyer, and he played properly, makes the catch. Back-to-back innings, Mariners strand 2. When we come back, Dave Valley's going to join us. Some strange happenings in Miami. We'll talk about that when we return. Here on the program right now, crazy happening down in Miami. JT Realmuto hits a ball into that home run structure in Miami. If the runner at first thought it was going to be caught, ball left, he couldn't see it because of the structure. Okay, so that's the setting. He's ruled out. The batter is ruled out after they give him a single. All right, here's the point though. Ed Hockley has become famous for his explanations in the NFL, that one of the top referees in the NFL. Do you think baseball umpires, the crew chief, should have that mic and be able to explain it to the audience, not only in the ballpark, but the audience on TV. What do you think, Dave Valley?
Yeah, I do, you know, because I was watching that game, and the runner on first base thought the ball was caught, so he came back to tag. Real Muto passed him, so the lead runner is actually out. The home run still counts, but I think there was a lot of misunderstanding. People were waiting. There was a conference on the first base side, then they went over to the third base side, and they're talking to Don Mattingly, and then they came back over to the first base side. So I guarantee you there were so many fans there trying to understand, well, you know, what happened there? We don't understand. It was 2-0. Now it's 1-0, and they've already resumed play. So I think just for the paying fans' interest in the game to be able to understand, hey, what just happened? Just give us a quick understanding of this so that we can then kind of focus on what's happening next.
Mike, what did you think?
Well, I think that he's right. The people in the stadium is where the issue is. But if you think about us and being on the TV side of it, when those things are going on, we're showing the replay, and they will show the replays here in the ballpark. But as far as giving them an understanding of what it is they're looking at, the umpires back in New York that are taking a look at the play, you could have those umpires just send a message out right away. The guys that are in the truck get that information, and they can put it back up on the screen. At least the fans can see the replay and the explanation underneath what it is that they're looking at and make their own determination at that point, because I think that the umpires should let the fans know what is going on as opposed to having somebody else try to explain it to them. And I think you could do that quickly from the guys back in New York, and then the guys that are here working in the game, they're not in the middle of all of that anymore, and I think that's something that could happen fairly quickly.
Yeah, I think that's always been the challenge, whether it's the replays while people are waiting, is to really understand what just happened and the communication of it quickly. But I do like I like whether the umpire's doing it. He doesn't have to go into a deep explanation or having it up on the board like Blow was talking about, just to give the fans an understanding of maybe the rule that just was broken, and that's why that guy was out. But I guarantee there was a lot of folks in that ballpark saying, "Wait a second, what just happened?"
There's no question.
We just lost the run.
You got to have clarity, especially in that case, Dave. We see a run taken off the board. You go, "What the hey? Come on!"
And you're not seeing the guy trot around the bases when everybody knows the ball left the ballpark.
Right.
I think that most of the time the fans, I think, understand what they're looking at, whether it's a play at second base or the play at first. But on something like that, a unique, unusual play, I think that there is a way that they can let the fans in the ballpark know, and I think they can do it fairly quickly.
And you guys know, too, that there's some things in the rule book. I mean, we've been around baseball for a lot, and not everybody knows all the rules. And sometimes you got to bring some of those arcane things that are at the bottom of the barrel there in the rule book. You got to let people know.
Well, you do, and even people like Dave Valley and myself that have been around the game all the time, sometimes the rules change over the course of years, and they make adjustments to it. So why not let the umpires, the guys that do this stuff all the time, especially if they're back in New York, to give you some clarity on what's going on.
Yeah, you could almost do a Wizard of Oz thing. They can put them on camera from New York. That's not a problem with all the facilities they have there. Here's what happened, folks. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Move up. What do you got, Dave?
Guys, I've got a quick story. So I'm going way back to mid-'80s. I'm watching the game of the week. I'm in the big leagues at the time, and I'm watching the Detroit Tigers game. Something happened. Sparky Anderson goes out there walking, and Sparky, he's pulling on his ear, and he's talking to the umpire, and the next thing I know, the runner gets moved up 2 bases.
Right.
And nobody knew. The announcers didn't even know until the following inning, and they got clarity. What happened was the catcher used his mask to corral a baseball that was in the dirt. Well, you're not allowed to use your gear, the catcher's mask, to touch the baseball.
Right.
And I have to tell you, at that time, I'm in the big leagues. I did not know that. And I was like, oh, my goodness, I'm glad I just learned it, because I didn't want to do it that night. So I learned something. You talk about all the different rules that are in the game.
Yep.
I haven't met one player that knows all of the rules, because there are so many nuances to things. But that was one instance where, and I have actually shared that with big league catchers over the last 18 years now as a broadcaster, and they did not know that.
Yep.
So
I agree with you.
Yeah, you just don't want to embarrass, get, your brethren out there, the guys behind the dish. You want to let them know, hey, don't use your mask.
And there was an NFL quarterback that didn't know there was overtime played in the NFL. So, I mean, it happens.
Well, that he should know.
Foul, thanks.
All right, guys.
Here's Brad Miller after Logan Forsythe was hit. Brad Miller walked on a 3-1 pitch. Justin Clem is the umpire supervisor out of New York. So you can have here, and they have, when you go to New York and you look at that situation, they have guys who are signed in games, and they could, like I said, you could do a Wizard of Oz thing. He comes on and tells you what happened. Boom, done. See you later. Two and one. Kiermaier and Conger hit into the shifts. Forsythe got hit by a pitch, and now Brad Miller 2 and 1. Three defenders right side for Brad on the infield.
Felix at 52 pitches, 32 strikes.
Good pitch, 2-2. Felix tonight 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Forsythe, the second base runner. Miller walked. Now Forsythe's aboard. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And breaking on the play is Forsythe, and he's into second safely.
It'll be a wild pitch. Looks like a changeup in the dirt. It's actually the curveball.
Felix trying to get out of this situation here with a runner at second against his old teammate Brad Miller. 3-2 pitch. He's got a piece of it.
Rays have made Felix work. We're on the 3rd inning and already 55 pitches for Felix. Longoria waiting on deck.
3-2 to Miller. Taken for ball 4. Second time he's walked. Third base runner for the Rays. Northwest Ford Stores and the Mariners are collecting peanut butter at Safeco Field this Saturday to benefit Northwest Harvest. Fans are encouraged to drop off jars of peanut butter or make a donation. It's all part of the Ford Focus on Child Hunger campaign. 2 out, 2 on. Evan Longoria struck out on a 2-2 pitch. Seager backhands. Neho Lee maintains that foot on the bag. Felix pitches out of trouble. No score here at Safeco Field. And there's a future Mariner right here in the ballpark tonight. Hernandez against Matt Moore. Time now for a Geico This Date in MLB history. 1986 the year. Alvin Davis, Mr. Mariner, sets the Mariners record. 8 runs batted in. And a game later tied by Mike Flowers in 95, Mike Cameron in 01. And then in 2010, Dallas Brady. It was a 19th perfect game in MLB history. It was against the Rays. Your memories?
On my 8 RBI game?
Come on, they got to be right at the top, right?
Well, I'm trying to remember. I think Alejandro Pena, I believe the right-hander, was on the mound.
Pretty good pitcher.
At a bases-loaded situation.
Right.
Picked up 3 on that one. I hit a triple, I believe, into left center. The funny thing about that is, at that point, I'd been struggling against right-handed pitching, and when Pena was getting loose, Lou Piniella came out of the dugout, and that's when he asked me if I was ever going to get another hit off of a right-hander. And I said, yeah, I'm going to get one right now. And I ended up, luckily, hitting a triple off the fence in left center field to drive in 3. And I believe Derek Lilliquist, I hit a home run to right. Von Eshelman also, I believe, pitched in that game. So a lot of fun, though, I can tell you that.
We saw Logan Forsythe get hit by a pitch. And then the slide right here, pop-up slide. And look like he's reaching for his groin, so they've replaced him with Tim Beckham at second base. There's Tim. Here's Marte, 1-0. Doubled into the left field corner. First time up. Mariners threatening the first and second inning, getting the first 2 men aboard both times and more. Is able to wriggle out of it. 2-0 pitch. Advantage Marte with Cano on deck. (3-1) to Marte. Line down the line. That's a fair ball. Boy, he hit that hard again. What a night. Ketel Marte, couple of doubles, just ripped.
A reference to his swing, hitting right-handed, the switch hitter hitting right-handed, much more aggressive, has more pop hitting right-handed, and already 2 doubles for him, both of them going down into the left field corner. And Marte came into the game hitting .274, so a couple of hits will help his batting average, and he's excited about it.
Well, he should be. And coming in tonight, he had been 0 for his last 9. Couple of feel-good moments for him. Player of the week, Robinson Cano. Struck out on a 2-2 pitch, first time up. One from Matt Moore.
In his first at bat, he saw a bunch of curveballs from Moore, and they were good ones. Just off the plate away.
Four hits for the Mariners, none for the Rays. Pitch to Robbie outside. Player of the week for good reason. Those are just, yeah, you couldn't even think of a situation this good. Fun to watch too, boy.
That's a good couple of weeks for a lot of players.
Here, here.
Maybe a good month for some.
Goes to left field. It's hit deep into the corner. It is a foul ball. Third base umpire gave Morales. Ball hard, pole to pole.
You can see on the EQC tracer, he had a good pitch to hit 94 right down the middle.
Now Robbie chant goes up. Ball of 2 strikes. Marte plus speed at second. Count goes to 2-2.
Mariners so far tonight 0 for 5 runners in scoring position. In this series, you're going to see a lot of good pitching. The Mariners second in ERA, but Tampa is third in ERA. Their struggles have been on the offensive side.
2-2 pitch. Move the runner up. To the bag goes Logan Morrison. Marte to third. 1 away. If you like rhymes, this is your game for tomorrow. CenturyLink brings you what's next. Smiley against Smiley. Drew Smiley, tough left-hander. Look at that opponent only hitting a .67 against him. And Wade Miley's done some good ball games recently for the Mariners. There's Wade. Seth Smith, Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker was joking yesterday, from Smiley, that his neck is better, and he could have told Scott Service, hey, I can give you an inning or 2. I'm good to go. 3 defenders left side, the infield. Cruz center field. Tagging is Marte. Kiermaier's got a good arm. Here we go. Marte on the come to throw to the plate. Safe. One nothing Mariners. RBI Nelson. Cruz is 17.
They're going to take a look at it. I think they think Marte maybe left a little bit early. Kevin Cash came right out of the dugout, so we'll see. It looks like they're going to let it go now. Marte aware that Kiermaier has a good arm. They go over that in the scouting report, and he throws a strike to home.
Good looking throw.
Marte able to get the back corner of the plate with his hand, almost slid past it.
Nelson Cruz with the RBI. It's his second sacrifice fly of the season. Gutierrez the hitter. Conger gave him an alleyway to get in there. On the wave, came up empty. 2-0 to Franklin, who lined out hard to third baseman Longoria to end the Mariners first with a couple of men aboard.
It was a good adjustment by Nelson Cruz in his first at bat. A couple of fastballs, ended up late swings on him. Looked for the fastball that time, was able to drive it deep enough into center field to pick up the runner.
3-0 to Goody. Kyle Seager's on deck. Kyle with a base hit his first time up in the first pitch that he saw. And ball 4 to Gutierrez. Del Marte, bright young player, very talented. Goes back to tag. Woof. Bang bang play. And Conger comes up empty. 2 outs with Goody at first. Kyle Seager.
Kyle with a base hit his first time up, extending his hitting streak to 10 games.
Texas tied the White Sox. It's now 4-4, bottom 10 down in Arlington. Houston has defeated Cleveland 7-1. Oakland loses 14-7 to Boston. Kiermaier's got this one. And that'll do it for the Mariners. They pick up a run on a hit. No errors and leave a man. Late 3, 1-0 Mariners. Home, opening up a short homestand. Hey, your bobblehead lineup, it's about to get a lot stronger. That's because this Saturday at 6:10, Kyle Seager bobblehead night. And this year's collectible shows off the third baseman's sweet swing. It's free to the first 20,000 fans, courtesy of Root Sports. Tickets, go get them, Mariners.com. And it is a good looking swing, and he has been putting it to max use recently. 1 for 2 tonight, extended his hitting streak. Meanwhile, through 3 innings, Felix, no runs, no hits. He's walked 2 and hit a batter. He'll face Corey Dickerson, Steven Souza Jr., and Logan Morrison, 4, 5, and 6 in the order for the Rays. Fly ball left field, backing up Nori, turns him around. He's on the track, looking up, and hits on top and goes over and out. Home run for Corey Dickerson, his 7th. Going to tie ball game. One ball game here at Safeco Field. For Dickerson, his 13th run batted in. Got it on the first pitch. Tough break. Nori went back, didn't miss it by too much, but it's gone, and we got a new game at 1-1.
Felix, bear down.
Steven Souza Jr. struck out, and he pops it up. Martin calling off Nori. One away. Felix giving up a home run, just his 4th of the season. Give it a good ride. Corey Dickerson. One out, a run in. There's Logan Morrison. Almost grounded out to Cano. They have 3 defenders right side for him. So he really enjoyed his stay here in Seattle. It's his favorite spot in the big leagues. It was before he became a Mariner. Really relished his time here. Here's the 1-1.
That a lot for players, visiting players, when they come into Seattle.
Absolutely.
The Mariners have the shift on with Logan hitting.
2-2. Cruz got the Mariners on the board. Bottom 3 with a sacrifice fly, scoring Ketel Marte, and now Corey Dickerson's tied it. Clamoring for the 3rd strikeout of the evening. And there's Lomo serving one at center field for a base hit. Second hit of the night against Felix.
And that was on the curveball. Tried to hit the outside corner. It was actually just off the plate away. So pretty good hitting by Logan Morrison as he reaches out. Puts it right back up the middle.
Brings up Brendan Geyer. Geyer flied out to right. Shows bunt. There's a strike. Geyer's been getting on base at a good clip for the Rays. His on base percentage entering tonight at .466 in his 58 plate appearances. 0-1. He's been hit a lot. It's a major league leading 10 times he's been hit. It's more than 15 teams. It's his 2nd hit batter tonight for Felix.
I would say not much of an effort to get out of the way of
Correct. Correct.
I mean, Felix had 1 hit batter coming into the game and already 2 tonight.
Your old timers, memories of Eddie Stanky and Ron Hunt. And who else? Let's see. Minnie Minoso got hit a lot. Don Baylor got hit a lot.
That's who I was thinking of.
Kiermaier, the center fielder. Cruz has been hit 5 times. Scott Service was talking about that the other day. He says Nelly's always in the dugout. Yeah, come on, take that inside pitch, take a hit. And then he's been hit. He had that one stretch where he got hit a couple, 3 times in a very short period of 2-3 games. Enough of that. Cano stays with it, and they'll get the 1. Get Geyer, don't turn to double play. There's 2 outs, runners at the corners.
Normal sure-handed Robinson Cano drops it, and that's the reason why they weren't able to get the double play. And unfortunately, because of that, it's going to add to already high pitch count for Felix. Felix is already at 68 pitches.
Run on 4 hits for the Mariners, a run on 2 hits for Tampa Bay.
Hank Conger, the Mariners will have the shift on. You can see Cano out on the grass.
Hank skies one. Long run for Aoki. And he's there. It hung up in there for a long time. And fortunate for the Mariners, and Aoki long run to make the play. 1-1 game. T-Mobile. This is a fun list. Last time this number was achieved. Overall, obviously, Ted Williams back in 41 versus right-handers. Josh Hamilton is that Altuve kid again against left-handers. At home, Sean Figgins in 07. On the road, Ichiro. Day games, Ichiro in 09. And the great Jackie Robinson in night games in 1951. Very eclectic list. Good stuff. Bottom third of the order coming up for the Mariners on this fabulous Monday, May 9th. First day back home. Short homestand. Kyle Seager got one of the Mariner 4 hits tonight. Chris Iannetta takes ball one. Iannetta, Dejo Lee, and Leonys Martin 7-8-9 against Matt Moore.
Iannetta gave it a pretty good ride his first time up. Flew out to center field. Kiermaier catching it right up against the fence.
Ooh, that check swing foul ball got Hank Conger. Young man born in Federal Way and part of the business, laughing it off. Of course, easy for me to say.
You've done some catching. You know what it's like.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. 1-1. Good looking breaking ball.
Come on.
More seriously, we talked about this earlier. In terms of smooth delivery, as smooth as anybody we have in the game. You know?
Yeah, and that could be tough for a hitter, especially the first time that you go up there, because you're busy looking for the release point. And they're able to get it, and then as smooth as he is, and then a fastball gets on you. And again, he's topped out tonight at 95 miles an hour, and you wouldn't expect that from that type of delivery.
Yeah, because you're looking for the big grinding, you know, jam it in there kind of thing. Left field. And as smooth as he is, and he's a pitcher, I'm guessing he's a good golfer. Right?
Most starting pitchers are.
That's what I'm saying. One down here in the fourth. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Infield tilted to the left side for Dejo Lee. Deo walked in a 3-1 pitch his first time up. Goes the other way. That's a fair ball, base hit. Deo with a base hit, worn out. Bring up Leonys Martin.
Fastball on the outside corner at 94 miles an hour. We saw him at Houston pick up a base hit in yesterday's game, hitting the ball the other way.
I like watching that leg kick in slow-mo.
He gets his swings in, too.
Martin coming up empty.
And it looked as if that time he was going to try to take it to the first base side. At the start of the game, I was talking about Martin and his bunting, and that's been 5, 7, 8 games in a row where he's tried to bunt at least one time. He's picked up a couple of hits doing it. But you can see him right there kind of running towards first in a jabby type of bunt. Julio Cruz, I was talking to Julio Cruz about it today, and he went in and talked to Martin. And I asked Martin about his conversation with Julio, and his face lit up, big smile on his face, and he knows that he needs to square around it's just a little bit earlier. Get the ball on the ground and then run.
Yeah, he's got great wheels. 1-1. Fouled off.
I was talking to him at the batting cages today. He was telling me he loves playing center field here.
Likes to play shallow. He sees the ball well here. It's always like when Nelly came here, he said it was his favorite ballpark. He said the same thing.
Well, and the height of the fence out there is perfect for him to steal some home runs and make some highlight films.
2-2. Mariners on the board first in the home third. Sac fly for Nelly Cruz, and then a home run in the top of the fourth. Corey Dickerson hit it into the pen in left field to tie it. Full count for Martin. Aoki's on deck. Good rip that. Fouled it straight back. So Matt Moore pitching here in the fourth. Last time out, his shortest stint in the season so far. 6 starts. He only went 4 1/3 against the Dodgers. He's gotten into the 7th inning 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 times consecutively. 3-2 here to Martin. Good battle here.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat.
In that Houston 7-1 win at home against Cleveland we told you about, Altuve drove in 3, Rasmus drove in 2. Mike Fiers improves to 3-1, and the White Sox in Texas bottom 11 4-4. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. 4th strikeout, 2nd time Martin's been K'd. 2 outs here in the 4th.
He had a couple of fastballs to hit. He missed them, fouling them off, and he was able to put them away with the good curveball. Well located.
Bring up Nori Aoki. Infield hit, a fly out the left, 1 for 2. Bad weather in the Midwest as Moore delivers. Strike 1. Baltimore and Minnesota rained out. San Diego at the Cubs rained out. Elsewhere in the National League, Cincy beat Pittsburgh 3-2. Miami 4-1 over Milwaukee. Oh, 1. All right. Battle here 0-2. As mentioned, weather's going to be good this week, so come on out here to Safeco Field. Good pitching matchups coming up. Drew Smiley, Wade Miley tomorrow, and then Taijuan Walker and Chris Archer on Wednesday afternoon. 0-2. Unger blocks it. Can't beat it. 10, one of the hot spots, always is during baseball season. Fans get out there early, watch batting practice. We're above the A at Safeco Field. A little wave there. Up the middle. Beckham smothers it and gets him. Nice play. Tim Beckham took over for Logan Forsythe, who had to leave the game because of an injury. Nothing across for the Mariners. We go to the 5th, tied at 1. Seattle Mariners baseball here in Root Sports. Being brought to you by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest Snoqualmie Casino. By CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partners in health. Learn to stay Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealer.com. How's it? Alki Beach. Good day for the folks to be out there. Felix Hernandez facing Tim Beckham. Made a nice play to get the force out at second. Logan Forsythe suffered an injury, and Tim's taking his place.
29 at-bats on the year for Beckham, 172.
Felix 2 strikeouts, none since the second inning when he got Steven Souza Jr. Ball and 2 strikes. A 1-2. Right around his hands. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Beckham hit .222 last year for Tampa Bay in 82 games. .429 in 5 games in 2013. First round pick, first overall in the June 08 draft. Tim Beckham. Here's the 2-2 from Felix. Struck him out. It's his 3rd K of the night. One away. Stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. Brad and Dave Valley will be here for you. Brad Miller.
Brad has walked a couple of times. Felix trying to pitch him away and hasn't been able to find the outside corner on him, missing off the plate away.
One hopper to Seager. Robs his old buddy. 2 down. Nice play.
I'm sure Kyle will get a phone call on that one. Brad Miller and Kyle Seager talking to each other before the game around the batting cage, and Kyle takes a hit away from him right here. Good play by the Gold Glover. He knows he's getting a call.
Brad was trying to stare him down as he was going back in the dugout. Kyle wouldn't look at him. I'm sure he's relaying something to Charlie Montoyo right now to tell Brad. Then Longoria 0 for 2. In that 14-7 Boston win against Oakland, David Ortiz 3 for 5, 2 runs batted in. He's hitting now .325, and Jackie Bradley went 3 for 5, a career high, 6 runs batted in.
Are you convinced he's going to retire at the end of the year with the year he's having?
Man, he is. We don't see them for a while, but
he had 2 home runs yesterday.
Right?
He had 3 home runs in that series against the Yankees.
We'll see. We'll be in Boston after we play Tampa Bay mid-June, June 17, 18, 19. Weekend series in Boston. I want to talk to him about that. You may want to reconsider that, pal. 2-1. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 5th. Nelson Cruz a sac fly in the 3rd. Corey Dickerson a home run in the 4th for Tampa Bay. The scores so far. Cano playing up the middle for Longoria. And a 2-2. Counts run full. Longoria with his 0 for 2 tonight, 6 for 29 against Felix Hernandez. One-deck hitter Corey Dickerson.
Felix now at 80 pitches, 50 strikes.
3-2 to Longo. Driven to center field. Going back is Martin, and he watches it sail out of here. That ball was drilled. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Longoria's 6th home run, his 16th RBI, and he told me before the game he felt a breakout coming, and There it was. Got it on a 3-2 pitch.
It's going to be a 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner, just above the knees. As Dave mentioned, he barrels it up.
What they do, what you talked about earlier. That's 2 home runs tonight, 41 on the season, 1 behind the Mariners. Take 1 to Dickerson. He's their cleanup man tonight. Cano is going to take care of it. Tampa Bay takes the lead back. Longoria with a long home run, center field. Longoria got his money's worth on this one, and it's going to come down right in front of our center field camera. Ketel Marte off to a fabulous start. Couple of hard hit doubles.
Both of them to left field, down the line, squaring at the fastball off of Matt Moore. With those 2 doubles, he's now raised his average to 287.
7 doubles on the season. Looks at an off-speed pitch for a strike. Bunt, and it goes foul. Twilight here in Seattle. Beautiful sight. Fabulous blue sky. Temperature very comfortable here in Seattle at 61 degrees right now. It's a lovely evening to watch some baseball. Your first place Mariners. Here's the 0-2. Could be interesting. Beckham safe. 3 for 3 night. Ketel Marte.
After hitting his fastball on the button a couple of times for the doubles, it was 3 off-speed pitches in a row. You see Beckham trying to get him, but good closing speed by Marte. He beats it. 3 for 3 night.
So Marte's aboard for the Major League RBI leader Robinson Cano.
4th time in 5 innings that the Mariners have had their leadoff hitter get on. So far, only one of them has scored, and that was Marte back in the 3rd.
Need a little cha-ching here. Robbie, the American League Player of the Week. Strikeout and a ground out to first base.
Hank Conger, the catcher for the Rays, does not throw well.
First pitch to Cano. The other way. Whoa, what a play by Longoria. The throw offline. Marte was held up for a moment at second. And now he's to third, so everybody's safe.
That'll be a base hit, E5. Good play by Longoria to take this base hit. What looked like it was going to be taken away from him, but a poor throw up the line. Morrison having the lead. And the error will be on the throw after it gets past Morrison so that Marte is able to move up to third. Great effort by Longoria.
Chance for some damage right now from Nelson Cruz. Third time the Mariners have gotten a first 2-minute board against Matt Moore. Chopper goes foul.
Dana Evelyn getting loose in the pen for the Rays. Another left-hander. 76 pitches for Moore, 49 strikes. Nelson Cruz with 17 RBIs has driven in the 1 run in this game, and it was a sacrifice fly to center field with Marte at third. There's Dana Evelyn.
Evelyn used to be with the Oakland Athletics. Here's the 0-1. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Inside, 1-1. Kevin Cash's ball club playing its best stretch so far. He's won 4 consecutive games. Felix hoping that Nelly can come through. Tay at third, Cano at first. And good news from Arlington. The White Sox, Todd Frazier just hit a grand slam to make it 8-4 White Sox top 12. Mariners, as you know, a half-game lead over Texas in the West. Cruz 0 for 1 tonight with a sacrifice fly. Counting for the Mariners' only run. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Other action in the division, Houston won and Oakland lost.
Nelson having a good year, hitting with runners in scoring position, a .290 average.
He's got service. When asked about this good start by the Mariners, he said, enjoy it. Solid advice. 1-2. Look out.
Miles an hour on the inside corner, just out in front of it.
Neck still bothering him. Felix developed a little pain in his neck earlier today. Still bothered by being hit on that right forearm, which numbed his fingers. One of the reasons why he sat out a couple of games ago. Big pitch here at 1-2, 2 on. Nobody out. Struck him out. Pitcher's pitch. It's a 5th K for Matt Moore.
After the fastball inside, he'll come back with a changeup down and away off the plate. Gets Nelly to chase it. Mariners having a tough time running in scoring position tonight, 0 for 7.
2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Tampa Bay. A run on 7 hits for the Mariners.
Franklin Gutierrez stepping in. And a couple of good at-bats. Lined out to Longoria at third and walked.
Franklin 0 for 4 against Matt Moore with that hard line out in first. Walked on 4 pitches in the third. Mariners got the first 2 on in the first. Ditto in the second. Got the leadoff man on in the third. 2 on here. This inning. Brett Boxberger. He's on the DL. Alex Coleman will be doing closing tonight. Has been for a while. Back safely is Cano.
I think there's a good chance that we're not going to see Coleman if we get into that situation. He's pitched in 3 games in a row.
They got Erasmo Ramirez, who Cash said is their MVP, a 6-1 record out of the bullpen. So he's pitched in every kind of situation so far. 0-2 to Franklin.
Back to the changeup again. Kyle Seager waiting on deck. There's Kyle, already a base hit, a 10-game hitting streak for Kyle.
0-2 strikes. A lot of room left center field for Gutierrez. 1-2 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ready. Here comes the 2-2. And he gets away from Conger. Scoring is Marte. 2-2 ball game. Cano moves up to second base.
Seeing that breaking ball in the dirt, I wasn't sure if it hit Gutierrez. Take a look at it. Just misses hitting his leg. Goes off of Conger. An easy play for Marte to score. He scored both of the runs for the Mariners so far tonight.
I thought so too. I thought it hit him.
I did too. I thought it hit him in the foot with the way the ball reacted.
Yep.
It hit his shin guard.
Base hit can give the Mariners the lead. And Franklin walks. Back-to-back plate appearances. Here's a pitch near Goody's back foot. Like he glanced off the drape of the trousers.
Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, having a conversation with more. Dana Evelyn, he's been loose for a while.
Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Train. Here we go. Good to be back home. 3 games, night and a day against Tampa Bay. Day off Thursday, and then a weekend series with the Angels. Angels struggling, 5 games under 500. Road trip, Baltimore and Cincinnati before we see the A's again, and then the Twins for the first time.
Wednesday's game on the 11th, 12:40 start.
Seager 1 for 2. Strike 1 on the Cobb. 1 for 2 today. 3 for 13 against Matt Moore. I'd like to have that one back. Floated right in front of his face.
Slow breaking ball, 82 miles an hour, up in his eyes.
Next pitch will be 90 for Moore. 89 pitches, 57 strikes.
One out and a couple of men aboard here. Cano at second, Goody at first. 2-2 ball game. Wild pitch scoring Marte right off the inning with an infield hit. Pulled foul. Other action on the scoreboard. Kansas City, defending world champions, lost at the Yankees 6-3. Washington 5-4 over Detroit. Toronto leads at the Giants 3-0. Arizona 10, Colorado 4, bottom 9 in Denver.
3 breaking balls in a row to Kyle Seager.
More set 0-2. Around the back.
Good aggressive swing on the fastball.
That's it. The Dodgers leading 4-2, top 6. Aldis Chapman made his Yankee debut tonight, pitched an inning in that 6-3 win over KC. Seager with a chance. The 0-2. Backed him off, 1-2. Cruz struck out twice and driven in a run this evening for the Mariners. He's got service at ball club trying to win game number 19. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. 6 strikeout for Matt Moore.
Still has a good fastball. 93 pitches in the last fastball, 93 miles an hour. Take a look at his whiff rate in the strike zone with his fastball this year. Much improved over last year. Last year at 12%, this year at 23%. And you can see the last pitch in the middle of the plate.
Here's Iannetta, 0 for 2. Sent Kiermaier to the track. First time up in the 7th and flied out to left field to Geyer. Second time up.
Kiermaier shading towards right center field. Big gap in left center.
2-0. Long rest period for Mr. Hernandez, that's for sure. 6 batter to the plate here in the 5th inning. Good ball game at 2-2. Iannetta's got a 3-0 count. Dale Lee's on deck.
Got a base hit his last time up. 1 for 1 on the night. 96 pitches for Matt Moore. His season high is 110. That was against the Yankees on April 22nd.
Green lighted him, hooked it foul. That Gonzalez the other day hit a 3-0 home run, 3-0 pitch for a home run.
Marwin Gonzalez from Houston.
That's one of the first 3-0 green lights we've seen for the Mariners this season.
Yeah, I would agree, or at least that they swung at. 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
(3-1) and the bases are loaded for Dae-Ho Lee.
And that's going to bring Cash out of the dugout. He's going to make a pitching change.
Mariners have a chance to do even more damage here in the 5th. Dana Evelyn, former Athletic, take over for Matt Moore.
field. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Felix in the dugout watching his offense, hoping his offense can get him some support. Felix Hernandez has been so good against these Tampa Bay Rays, 7-2 over his lifetime with an ERA under 2 at 1.90. And of course, there was the perfect game as well. Hi everybody, Angie Bentank here at the Ford Sports Desk. And we're checking out where you are watching tonight's game, and hiking seems to be sort of a theme. Remember to use the hashtag #WhereIRoot on social media. Look at Mr. Dodgy from the top of Mailbox Peak by North Bend. I love it. And I like this even more, I'm going to admit. Above Diamond Head, Waikiki Keaton checks in with this one. Happy Felix Day. Back to you. And Ricky made the hike to downtown Seattle. Ricky and his crew as well. Let's go Mariners. I completely agree. And we return to the action here in the bottom of the 5th, guys.
All right, Angie, thank you. Day-O late. Great opportunity against Dana Eveland. And again, as it is almost every day, a first-time look at a new pitcher.
He will take the breaking ball. Looked like he was going to take the pitch the entire way. I think he wants to pick up the release point. Eveland throws across his body a little bit. The Mariners say 0 for 8 runners in scoring position. They've left 6 runners on. They need somebody to come up with a big hit.
Same fastball, 1-1.
The Rays are 0 for 4. They've left 5 on. For Eveland, this will be his 10th appearance. Has struggled. ERA over 8.
1-1 to Day-O. 2 out, bases loaded. Crowded him, 2-1. They with 4 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Now to Brain Trust, really liking what Day-O Lee, a proven professional over in Japan and Korea, and what he's done thus far. Here comes a 2-1 pitch from Eveland. Taking for a strike. 2-2. Tel Marte's hit a whale of a night. 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 doubles and an infield hit. Lee tonight has walked and singled to right. Jammed him and put away by Tim Beckham. Mariners leave 3. They do pick up a run and tied at 2-2. Top of the 6th. Right to the game stress-free from Sound Transit's new Link Light Rail stations. Capitol Hill and the UW are now open, so plan your trip at soundtransit.org. Folks getting a little selfie action going on out there. Dad and son here at the ballpark. Part of the crowd coming back to see the Mariners in first place. Half game over Texas. Texas on the short end right now, losing in extra innings to the White Sox. It's 8-4. Steven Sosa Jr. leads off. First pitch right to There's one away. Take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings up to the minute. Athletics lost. Angels, boy, they had a big loss today, losing Andrelton Simmons, their shortstop, a thumb injury. Dove for a ball hit by Longoria the other day. Longoria enrolled his thumb and is going to need thumb surgery, and he's out for 2 months.
And they just lost Garrett Richards for the year.
See the Angels this coming weekend.
Going through a tough time right now. Logan Morrison 1 for 2, had a base hit back up the middle.
Felix has given up a couple home runs tonight, one to Dickerson, one to Longoria. Giving up 2 home runs in 5 innings tonight. Entering tonight's game, he'd given up just 3 and 36 2/3. And that Texas White Sox game has gone final, 8-4 White Sox. Infielders right side for Lomo, 2-0. Takes a strike. Swing and a miss. Morrison, 2-2 count. Hogan with his second big league team in the state of Florida. He was with the Marlins from 2010 to 2013, then spent the next 2 years with the Mariners. Two and two. Full count. Felix tonight has struck out 3, walked 2. On deck, Brendan Geyer, the left fielder.
Just 3 hits for the Rays tonight. Unfortunately, 2 of them left the ballpark. Felix has had an excellent curveball and changeup.
Swing and a miss. He gets Morrison. It's his 4th strikeout. 2 away here in the 6th.
And he gets him on the changeup. Look at this changeup. It'll be just below the strike zone. He usually starts that pitch right in the middle of the plate, and then the bottom falls out, starts running to the outside corner on a left-handed hitter.
The drive to left, going back. Nori can't get it. Base of the fence. This off the bat of Brendan Geyer. He's in the second with the double. Previously, he had flied to right and was hit by a pitch.
And that looked like it was the first pitch slider right in the middle of the plate. Felix just trying to steal a strike. 84 miles an hour.
Almost a Super Bowl bounce away from Nori.
Bring up Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier's 0 for 2 tonight. Rays 0 for 4, runners in scoring position.
Two down, runner at second. First pitch, strike. Blocked by Chris Iannetta. All in the strike. Rays have had at least 1 base runner in every inning, but the second. Mariners have left 9 men on tonight. Tampa Bay 4 so far. 2-1. Felix dealing 2-1. Throw down to second, got a chance, got him! Nice throw by Chris Iannetta to Marte to get Brendan Guyer, who stranded well off of second base. That's really big. Coming up for the Mariners, it'll be Landis Martin, Nori Aoki, and Ketel Marte in this 2-2 ball game. Not only does he block the balls in the dirt very effectively, check this out. Sees the runner off the bag and got him.
Quick footwork, accurate, strong throw.
Martin will lead things off. Martin, Aoki, and Marte. 9-1-2. Great job by Iannetta to get Guyer. Dana Evelyn on in relief of Matt Moore. Went 4 2/3. Frisbee like curveball there. 2-0.
Evelyn will use a sinking fastball at about 89 miles an hour. He just saw the sweeping breaking ball. He has a changeup.
Good setup here for the Mariners. 3-0. White Sox beat Texas 8-4. Grand Slam Todd Frazier in the 12th. Nori Aoki on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. That run game that we heard so much about back in spring. Here's an opportunity. Martin, one of the fastest men on the ball club. Aoki's got pretty good bat control.
5 stolen bases for Martin. He's been caught once.
Steve Gelt's warming up.
In some cases you would think bunt right here, but why not try hit and run with the way Aoki can handle the bat?
Absolutely. Good call. I agree.
Longoria even with the bag at third. Middle infielders have shortened up.
Strike one to North. First time Nori is seeing Dana Evelyn. See what Scott Service wants to do here. Got a hot hitter in Marte coming up next, who's 3 for 3. Aoki's 1 for 3 so far. 0-1 pitch. Longoria creeping in at third. Runner goes. Throw out. Dropped by Conger. Stolen base for Martin. That'll be his 6th. On the transfer, Conger dropped the ball.
He has really had a tough time throwing out runners. Average jump by Martin. He has a lot of speed. But I think you have to try Conger. Probably run throughout this series if they have the opportunities, the right personnel on the bases, and Martin certainly qualifies his 6th stolen base.
Ball and 2 strikes. Chance to move the runner up or score him. 1-2 pitch here. Way outside. 2-2.
Mariners have had a runner in scoring position in every inning except for the 4th. And they're 0 for 9 tonight. Runners in scoring position. So they need somebody to come up with a big base hit.
Sure do.
Hopefully Aoki can get something he can pull. You can see those last 2 pitches after the stolen base off the plate away.
2-2 pitch. Slap the other way. Since the first inning, the LOBs go 2-2-1-1-3. The Mariners totaling 9. Head coach Edgar Martinez hoping for a big knock right here from Nori Aoki. Driven in 6 for Sayonetta. Back in play in the last half inning. That one fouled back. Two and 2 from Evelyn. Full count. Marte on deck. 2 doubles and an infield hit. 2 runs scored. Three and 2. Nobody out. Runner at second.
Pretty good job fouling that pitch off. Breaking ball. Evelyn starting it right at Aoki. Would have been a strike on the inside corner. This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat.
Do it again. 3 and 2. And he takes ball 4. Well, that's a great spot here for the Mariners. 2 walks, 2 on, nobody out, and Marte's 3 for 3. Come on out to Safeco Field this Saturday and Sunday. Mariners host the Angels for Major League Baseball's first annual Play Ball Weekend, proudly supported by Scott's. For more info on Play Ball Weekend activities and to get your tickets, you know where to go, Mariners.com. Kevin Cash going to make a pitching change. First 2 men have reached. Marte is the next hitter. It's a 2-2 ball game. And coming in is Steve Jeltz, a right-hander.
Andrew Bantaker at the Ford Sports Desk. The first thing my kids like to do is go out and visit the Moose. Apparently, kids aren't the only ones that want to do this. It's Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines. Emily went out there, the three of us there to root on the King. Hashtag King's Court. Also, we've got Alex sending this one in, also in the King's Court. Happy Felix Day. It is Where I Root. Remember to use the hashtag on social media. It is presented by Alaska Airlines. Guys?
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Good spot here for the Mariners. Ditel Marte will face Steve Geltz. Marte 3 for 3, 2 runs scored.
For Geltz, a 3.86 ERA, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 9 1/3. He's given up a couple of home runs this year. Fastball, 12-6 curveball, and a split.
I think Marte can slash something. He's more of a slashing hitter, left-handed. Power side is the right side. That's where the 2 hard doubles. Oh, he didn't. High drive. Deep right center field. And he's gone. A 3-run jerk by Ditel. Marte, have a night, big fella. 4 for 4. And the Mariners with a big 3 spot to take a 5-2 lead. No Burley here.
Scott Service, we've seen this over the last week or so. He's getting some feelings from time to time, depending on how it's going with the game. And I think because Marte was 3 for 3, why not let him swing away? And he hits a home run. For Marte, his first home run of the year. And for the Mariners, their first base hit with a runner in scoring position. And it doesn't get any better than that, a 3-run homer.
That is something else. Jumps all over Geltz. Ditel Marte, a star in the making.
And you know what I like about it, too, is he probably knew, a headsy player, he probably knew, well, they're thinking of bunting. It's probably going to be a first-pitch fastball, and that's exactly what happened. And he didn't miss it.
So impressive. Seeing exponential growth from this guy. I mean, in a short period of time, he did a lot of nice things last year, but this has been sensational.
We've heard Scott Service talk about it. He's a smart player. He understands the game. And using that to his advantage, and why not?
Boy, that's some sight. 4 for 4 is a triple away from the cycle. And Felix, look at this. Chance to become the all-time winningest pitcher in Mariner history tonight. As Cano looks at ball 1, 3-1. So Marte started the night at 274. His 4 for 4 has got him to 299. His first ever 4-hit ball game, and the 3 RBIs are a career best.
Saw Cano taking the 3-0 pitch. I'm sure that he had the green light, but he rarely swings 3-0. Taking all the way.
3-1. High fly ball left center field, staying in the yard. Geyer for the out. 1 down here in the 6th. Coming up tomorrow, CenturyLink, couple of left-handers. CenturyLink bringing you what's next. Drew Smiley. Opponent's not hitting much on him. And Wade Miley has pitched well in his last few outings for the Mariners. Smiley coming in with a 1-3 record. And for Wade Miley, he's 2-2 with a 4.74. Here's Nelson Cruz. Last year, Ditel Marte hit 1 home run from the left side and 1 from the right side.
And the Rays will put the shift on with Nelson Cruz hitting. So far tonight, a couple of strikeouts and a sacrifice fly.
I remember the lefty home run Marte hit last year was here. But I got to say, I think that was clearly the hardest ball he's hit left-handed this year. We just said he's more of a slasher from the left-hand side.
No, I would agree with that. And I was looking at the defensive setup. Nelson goes down swinging again. I was looking at the defensive setup for the Rays, and you had Longoria well in on the grass expecting the bunt.
He was coming too on the pitch.
Yeah, and had Brett Miller playing up the middle. There's a huge hole on the left side. I thought, well, this sets up perfect for Marte, the way he slaps it around. I guess he's going to jump on a heater and hit it out of the ballpark right over the 380 sign.
That's pretty good.
Very good.
Man.
Felix appreciates the run support.
That home run that Marte hit last year against Houston's Lance McCullers. Goody's lined out hard to Longoria and then walked the next 2 times up. 1-1. Boy, a lot of excitement here. Mariners with the 5-2 lead. They know that the White Sox have beat Texas 8-4. So a win tonight would extend the lead to a game and a half. 1-1. Off-speed pitch for strike 2.
On the road trip, we talked a lot about Cano for obvious reasons. American League Player of the Week. Kyle Seager was hot on the road. But it was the combination of Martin, Marte, and Aoki getting on base consistently, and that's how this inning unfolded. A couple of walks to Martin and Aoki before Marte hits the home run. Aoki, it was a 9-pitch at bat for him to work that walk.
Two outs, 2-2 count to Goody. Big 3 spot on the board for the Mariners. And he strikes out, but the damage done by Ketel Marte, a 4-for-4 night. Driven in 3 with a 3-run homer. He scored 3 times, and the Mariners have a 5-2 lead. Cano, the veteran, the youngster Marte shining this evening with 4 hits as we take a look at the Columbia Bank difference of the ball game. And here you go. Oh man, wheelhouse. Huh?
I'm telling you, he knew that he was going to get first pitch fastball. And if you look at the location of that, Geltz thought he was going to bunt, and he threw it right down the middle. Cheat a little bit, get the barrel out in front of it, and drive it over the fence.
And that's about 4 bills where he hit it.
His first 4-hit game. I don't think it'll be his last.
If you were to pass around a petition, you'd get a lot of people to sign it.
He's had 7 3-hit games. That's his first 4-hit game. Kiermaier going to lead things off for the Rays. The Mariners have the shift on with Kiermaier hitting. He can run. That's the reason why Kyle Seager is in on the grass at third.
Marte, by the way, is a triple shy of the cycle. Felix with the lead. 2-1 to count to Kiermaier, who was at the dish when Iannetta threw out Geyer, who strayed off the second base, threw him out for out number 3 in the 6th. 2-2. It'll be Kiermaier, Conger, and Beckham. 8-9-1 for the Rays. Bill Stoudemire Jr. checking in with the bullpen.
When the Mariners were in Houston, Kyle Seager was a double away from the cycle.
I'm impressed by the fact that on the trip, Kyle hit 2 triples. That wasn't bad.
That's not bad at all. I don't think he had a triple at all last year.
Mariners are 13-1 this season, when leading after 6 innings.
Now for Marte, if he can get a ball to get through the gap, a triple for him is right there.
High ball backing up Martin. A half step shy of the track. On the way. Hey, Mariner fans, your local Ford store is hosting a peanut butter drive at Safeco Field on May 14th. Ford dealers in the Pacific Northwest, they're helping local community food banks to make sure no child goes hungry this summer. So fans attending the game on May 14th against the Angels, they bring their unopened peanut butter donation to Safeco Field to contribute to the Ford Focus on Child Hunger campaign. Born in Federal Way, here's Hank Conger. Looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Hank's 0 for 2.
Mariners will stay in the shift as you see Joel Peralta starting to get loose.
And you are correct. Seager did not have a triple last year, but he had 4 career best in 2014. Mariners back from a 5-2 road trip. And the Rays come in having won 4 consecutive ball games. Their game over 500. The Mariners 5. Here's the 0-2 to Conger. Dale Lee for the out. 2 down. 2 away. Back to the top of the order. And Tim Beckham. Just like the Mariners, our youngest fans can swing for the fences. That's because this Sunday, all kids 14 and under going to pick up a playground bat and ball set as part of Play Ball Weekend at Safeco Field. Go to Mariners.com for tickets. That'll be pretty cool. Come in and get a bat and ball set. That'll work. Way late swing by Beckham in his second at bat. He took over for Logan Forsythe, who had to leave the game. The bruised left shoulder. Felix looking for win number 146. He's already the all-time Mariners strikeout king. And he'll be atop the winners list. W here tonight. Ground ball, Seager. Boys put 3 on the board for Felix. He comes back with a 9-pitch, 3-out 7th. 5-2 Seattle. At Washington's lottery mobile app, this break in the action would be the perfect time to check winning numbers. Play today. Great to be back in Seattle after the 5-2 road trip. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew, Felix Hernandez, attaboy time. And a lot of smiles in that dugout. Mariners are pretty doggone good. Felix, 7 innings, a 4-hit, 2-run ball, 2 walks and 4 Ks, gave up 2 home runs. Tel Marte, the hitting star this evening. And Felix in line to get win number 146 to make him the all-time Mariner leader. To quote Mr. Martinez, let's get greedy. 5-2 Mariners, bottom 7. Here's Kyle Seager. They overload the right side for Kyle. Kyle with a base hit to right in the second. Since then, a fly to center and a strikeout.
Peralta continues throwing in the Mariner bullpen, so he'll take over and pitch the 8th inning. Rays keep the shift on with Kyle hitting.
Longest active hit streaks going on right now. Jackie Bradley Jr., Jonathan Scope, Kyle Seager, and Avisail Garcia. That's updated to include all of this evening's ball games. Jackie Bradley Jr. 3 for 5, 2 runs and 6 ribbies tonight for Boston. Kyle's got a 2-1 count.
Boston scoring 14 runs tonight. You had to figure he was all over that.
Oh yeah. How about this? Loser Sonny Gray goes 3 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs. He's now 3 4. His ERA at 6. 3-1 to Kyle.
Kyle grimace a little bit after that swing because he had a really good pitch to hit. Fastball at 93. Elevated form in the middle of the plate. If he barreled that up, he'd have hit it out of the ballpark.
Matt Moore started for Tampa Bay, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. 3-2 pitch. Popped that up. It will get out of play.
And almost the exact same fastball.
Dana Evelyn came on to pitch a 1/3 of an inning, 2 runs, both earned, walked 2. Steve Geltz gave up 3-run homer to Ketel Marte. 3-2. Longoria and Conger, long run. Oh, Longoria had more room to play with. He also had Conger sliding right into him. Kyle catches a break there. Conger and Longoria can't make the play. Another opportunity here for Kyle Seager. Three-two pitch from Geltz. Just got under it. Right fielder Steven Souza Jr. makes the play. There's one down. Join us tomorrow during the Mariners game for Twitter Tuesday. You're going to have 5 chances to win exciting prizes just by interacting with us on Twitter throughout the ball game. Going to be posting questions. Want to hear from you, so be sure to watch and follow us on Twitter at RootSports_NW. Giveaway rules, visit us at rootsports.com. CenturyLink brings us what's next. Couple of lefties tomorrow, Drew Smiley and Wade Miley. Rip by Iannetta coming up empty. He is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Joel Peralta getting ready. wrapped up. Oh, 2 to Iannetta. 3 on the left side of the infield for him. He's still awake at 9:46 Pacific. Well, you know, he's being raised right as a Mariner fan and a Felix fan.
Yeah, there's no sleeping in the King's Court.
Yeah, I would imagine not. Good call. Even if he wanted to, not going to happen. Good night for Felix. And he got some strong run support as he speaks with Rob Nodine, his assistant head athletic trainer. One and 2 to Chris. 15,230. Witnessing a Ketel Marte show. Cano got AL Player of the Week, but Player of the Night is Marte. 3-run homer. Breaking a 2-2 tie, bottom 6. 4 for 4 night, 3 runs scored. 2-2. Iannetta. Long run for Lomo, looks like.
And another good battle by a Mariner hitter. Seen some long at-bats tonight, fouling pitches off, making the Rays pitchers work. And the Rays pitching staff 3rd in ERA, the Mariners 2nd.
Two and 2 to Chris. High fly ball left field. Not enough carry. Geyer making the play. 2 outs.
We have Dejo 1 for 2. Walk, had a base hit in the 4th inning. Base hit to right field.
Keep 3 defenders on the left side in the infield for Dale. And he beats it right through the shift. Base hit, Dejo Lee, his 2nd hit tonight.
And he's going to jump on a first pitch fastball at 93 and hit it hard into left field. You can see Longoria hugging the line at 3rd. Barely has a chance of taking a step before it's by him.
Dale Lee, 2-hit night for him. Kevin Cash yet another appearance going into that bullpen one more time. Mariners lead at 5-2. Coming on is Enny Romero. It is so good to be back in Seattle. 3 welcome sites. That viaduct is open. Used it a couple of times earlier today. We're back home here in Seattle. Great weather going on as well. And back here at Safeco Field. Great weather promised all week with this homestand. 3 with Tampa Bay, 3 with the Angels, with a day off to be enjoyed by the Mariners on Thursday. Lannis Martin, first hitter for Eddie Romero. Center field, going to hang up for Kiermaier, and he's there to make the catch. Joel Peralta, former Ray, will take over for Felix, who's in line to get win number 146 in his great career. Seattle Mariners baseball here in Root Sports, being brought to you by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win, and by Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo only at Jack in the Box. This picture say it all. Robinson Cano, American League Player of the Week. Felix Hernandez about to become the winningest pitcher in Mariners history. He's been a great night for the Kings Court.
They have had a great time out there tonight.
At stake tonight, he's looking to become the winningest pitcher in the franchise history, surpassing Jimmy Moyer. Good-looking list. He's already the strikeout king. Whoops.
7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, a couple of solo home runs for Felix. He threw 106 pitches. His season high is 115. That was against Kansas City. So Felix is done, and next couple innings to be turned over to the bullpen. Joel Peralta going to take over for the Mariners.
Peralta with the Mariners, his 7th team in 12 years. He spent 2011 through 14 seasons with Tampa Bay.
And he's pitched well. 14 appearances at 2.84 ERA, 16 strikeouts in 12 2/3. Good number for him. Opponents hitting just 159. Fastball at 90 miles an hour. Mixed in a curveball, a split.
Brad Miller behind 0-2. Brad's walked twice. Grounded out to Seager. Stole a base in the first. Mariners hold on to win. Felix to go to 7-0 in 11 starts here at Safeco Field against Tampa Bay, and will take his career mark to 8-2 against the Rays. Peralta ahead 0-2. Two, 3, and 4 in the order for the Rays: Miller, Longoria, and Dickerson. Three defenders right side of the infield for Brad. 1-2. Brad Miller has faced Peralta before. Brad was a Mariner and Joel was with Tampa Bay. Brad's 0 for 1. Miller leading off here in the top of the 8th. Swing, and he got a foul tip. A swing and a miss, and a tag made by Ionetta. Brad's going. One out here in the 8th. Wear what the pros wear this Friday. 7:10 start time. Mariners replica sock night. Mariners will meet the Angels. First 20,000 fans pick up a pair of striped socks that look just like the ones the Mariners wear on the field. Visit mariners.com for tickets. Angels come in having their difficulties.
And their share of injuries.
Yes, indeed. Andrelton Simmons, their shortstop, thumb surgery, out 2 months. There's Longoria. He was one to hit a ball in the 6-hole. He was telling me before the game, and Simmons dove for it, rolled that thumb, and injured it. That's a big loss. He's maybe the best defensive shortstop in the game.
Longoria 1 for 3 tonight. One hit, a home run, solo home run. Headed out to center field. Mariners have the shift on. So Cano, you can see him on the left side of the infield.
By the way, if you're wondering, as we speak about the Angels off tonight, they open up a series at home tomorrow against the Cardinals. Going 3-0 against Longoria. On deck hitter Corey Dickerson. And 4-pitch walk. Peralta in his time with Tampa Bay compiled a record of 11 wins, 22 losses, 3.58 ERA, and 10 saves. Scott Service, Mel Stoudemire Jr. really liked what Peralta has done. And again, he was a dark horse to even make the club, but then the Scribner and Cook injuries and the Furbush injuries open up the door for him, and he's made the most of it.
Yeah, the plus has been that he's really pitched well for the Mariners. Here's Dickerson, homered off of Felix in the 4th. Tied to score at 1. Nelly Cruz gave the Mariners a 1-0 lead. Sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 3rd. Game was a 1-1 contest in the 5th inning. Longoria homer to make it 2-1. Mariners answered right back. That a wild pitch scored Marte. Then bottom 6. What an inning that was. Martin walked. Aoki walked. Looking for a bunt. Marte got a fastball right down the pipe, and he killed it. 3-run jack, hit it about 400 feet. That's where we are right now, 5-2. Felix went 7, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and 106 pitches. Mariners chase starter Matt Moore. He went 4 2/3. Kevin Cash has been to his bullpen 3 times already. One pitch. Easy play for Martin. 2 outs. Peralta able to get him on the split.
And bring up Steven Souza Jr. 0 for 3. Local kid from Shoreline. Strikeout. Fly to center. Ground out to short. Robinson Cano, American League Player of the Week. .516 batting average, 16 for 31, 8 runs, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 9 runs batted in. Mariners go 5-2 on a road trip. Texas has already lost, so the Mariners with the win go up a game and a half on Texas. Also pick up a chance to pick up a full game on Oakland. Oakland blown out at Boston 14-7. Houston 7-1 winner at home against Cleveland.
Able to get a couple of fastballs by him at 90. He goes back to the split.
Comes the 0-2 from Joel Peralta. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Couple of Ks for JP. Marte is a triple away from the cycle. We're going to see him here in the home eighth. What a night he's had. A 3-run homer put the Mariners up 5-2. That's where we are. Headed to the home eighth. Homestand. Opening game against the Rays, a 5-2 lead, bottom 8. Top of the order coming up, Nori Aoki, Ketel Marte, a triple shy of the cycle, and Robinson Cano, the American League Player of the Week.
Aoki's been on base a couple of times, had a base hit in the first, walked in the sixth.
Manny Romero continues here for Tampa Bay, third reliever out of the pen. That's where the game's in progress right now. Mets lead 4-2 at the Dodgers, top 9, bottom 9 in San Fran. Toronto 3, Giants 1.
Steve Seashek getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
Snared there by Romero, one away. Let's check in with Angie Mentig.
Guys, thanks so much here at the Ford Sports Desk. Mariners baseball, the perfect thing to get your week started on the right foot. And we want to see the hashtag where I wrote on social media, like John here, Monday Night Baseball with my dad. It's exactly the way you want to start off your week. It is presented by Alaska Airlines. And then we got Boy Howdy getting out of the office and here with the family tonight. Remember to use the hashtag where I root. It's presented by Alaska Airlines on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Guys?
All right, Angie, thank you. Where do you want the triple, Mike?
Let's go left center.
Marte, a hard double in the first, down the left field line. A hard double down the left field line in the third. Infield base hit right side in the fifth. A long 3-run homer right center field in the sixth. He needs a triple for the cycle.
I'm not mistaken, that was his first standing ovation as he was walking up to the plate. The fans get it. They were going nuts as he was walking to the plate.
Oh, to be 22 years old again.
Man.
And having a 4. The guys in the truck are saying amen. Bouncing ball, Brad Miller. The throw dug out by Lomo. They got him. Two outs, but a very appreciative round of applause. In fact, a standing ovation. Those remaining of the 15,230 for Ketel Marte. What a night. Here's Robbie Cano, got an infield hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 4. Strike 1. Tampa Bay's runs. Home run by Dickerson in the 4th. Longoria in the 5th. And that's it as Seashek and Nick Vincent heat up. How about some of the spots that Vincent's been in recently and how well he's done?
Yeah, he's really pitched well. And Scott Service now using him in some high leverage situations late in the game.
Yep. Warming up Ryan Webb for the Rays. Five runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 2-4-1 for Tampa Bay. Robbie behind, 0-2 down left field line, foul.
Pretty good fastball at 98 on the inside corner.
Giving Robbie a huge gap between Kiermaier and Sosa. And he looks at a called 3rd strike. Trip Gibson with the call. Robbie didn't like it at all. 1-2-3 go the Mariners in the 8th. Closing time here in the 9th. Mariners 5, Rays 2. Here comes Steve Seashek.
We are headed to the 9th inning. The Mariners lead it by 3. Steve Seashek on the hill for the save. Coming up on Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines, we will head inside the clubhouse to hear from the King as he tries to become the franchise's all-time winningest pitcher. Ketel Marte, he'd be a good guy to talk to after this one as well. He hits his first home run of the season. And of course, as always, we will hear from the skipper. It's all coming up on Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. Guys.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Here's Steve Seashek for his 15th appearance.
Looking for his 10th save on the year, a 1.13 ERA, 17 strikeouts in 16 innings. Opponents hitting 158. Fastball slider combination is fastball 91 to 93, an occasional changeup.
Ball one to Logan Morrison, Geyer, and Kiermaier here for Tampa Bay in the ninth. One to Logan Morrison, 1 for 3 tonight. 4th inning base hit to center field. Mariners stack 3 infielders right side for Lomo. 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. Brad Miller and Logan Morrison returning here to Seattle. First of 3. Ground ball right to Robbie Cano. 1 out. Second time Logan's grounded out to Robbie. 1 away here in the ninth. Brings up Brendan Geyer. Fly to right. Hit by a pitch and a double down the left field line. He was also thrown out, picked off by Iannetta in the 6th inning. He was at second, straight. Iannetta caught it, threw it down to Marte to get him.
At the time, it was a huge play in the game. Game was tied up 2-2.
Seashek's no joyride when he's right against for right-hand hitters.
No, with the arm angle that he creates throwing across his body. That pitch right there is the toughest one, the slider. 0-2, he'll probably throw it off the plate away. Try to get him to chase it now.
A lot of good stuff by the Mariners tonight. Dale Lee with a 2-hit night. Seager extended his hitting streak. There's the 0-2. He got him. 2 down.
Went right back to the slider. Span the strike zone and get him to chase it.
Got to be murdered too, and then when he wants to run it on your hands as a right-hand hitter, oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, when you have that in the back of your mind, that's why it's so difficult for them to lay off of that slider, especially with 2 strikes.
Kiermaier, the hitter. Kiermaier tonight, 0 for 3. Fastball for strike 1, 1-1. Seashek, quick worker. Seager in at third, only defender on the left side. Here's the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Pretty good fastball at the top of the strike zone. Didn't get the call.
Two and 1. Strike away from putting this one in the books for the Mariners. Folks, you got to come out and see this first place ball club. Short homestand, 2 more with Tampa Bay, 3 with the Angels. Come on out. Here's a 2-2 from Seashek. Strike 3 called. He got him. That's the ball game, and the Mariners win it 5-2. And congratulations to Felix Hernandez, becoming the all-time winningest pitcher in Mariners history, and he was helped by Ketel Marte. And here's a look at it: 146 wins for the King, the all-time winner and strikeout king for the Seattle Mariners. And how about Ketel Marte, Mike?
Great night for Ketel Marte. 4 hits, including a 3-run home run that gave the Mariners the lead so that Felix Hernandez could get the win in this one and be the all-time leader in wins. Holds the record for strikeouts, now wins, and who knows where he's going to take that win total by the time his career is over.
A great start to this homestand. Come on out and see this ball club, folks. Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Brad and Dave Alley.
All right, guys.